The string method is a great way to keep houseplants happy whilst you're traveling. It can also be used year-round for plants that love moisture. Let's get into it. You can buy pots with a string already, or you can just easily make your own. Going to for this planter, which has about 5 different plants in there, but they all have a higher water need. Let's get to it. Grab some thick string or some twine and cut off a length twice as long as your planter. Nursery pot always. I'm now going to push the string through the soil on the side and it'll come out one of the holes at the bottom. I use this method for my prayer plants year round because they like consistently moist soil. Just pushing the string down to the bottom. This is one of my favorite ways to make a self-watering system for indoor houseplants. It is fairly easy and also cheap and accessible. This would obviously be a lot easier before you put a plant in your planter, but you can stick it through as well. Get my little probe out. Now obviously a nursery pot and a decorative pot with a hole always. String through there as well. If you don't have a planter with a dedicated section at the bottom, you can always use a plant saucer or a bowl. A tray or a jar nearby works fine too. So the string sits in the water and absorbs up and it gets into the soil. You can use this year-round for high water plants and also as a hack for when you're traveling and need to keep your plants hydrated. There you go, the string method. I use the string method year-round for my prayer plants, including my calathea bell marks. You can see this one has a fatter string out the bottom and it's dripping with water. This is what you want for a water-loving houseplant. As well as the calathea, I also use it for my maranta and prayer plants, including the calathea. I have found this method stops my leaves from getting brown tips. You can also use this whilst traveling for outdoor plants that like a lot of water, including your herbs and your veggie garden. So we all know that putting plants into your bathtub, if you have one, is a great hack for my fellow plant-loving travelers. This works so well if you have natural light in your bathroom like I do, but if you don't, here's a few other hacks for you. One of the easiest ways to replicate this in a brighter room is by using bowls around your house. If you're using a bowl, I recommend soaking the plant from above before as well. This way the soil is wet and you have a reserve of water at the bottom as well. If you're using a shallow bowl like this, you don't need to worry about root rot. But if you're using a bowl that is much bigger than the plant, make sure that you don't add too much water. As well as bowls, you can also use tubs or buckets around your house. It doesn't need to be fancy to be effective. Just like the bowls in the bathtub, don't add too much water. The goal is a reserve that the plant can absorb as it dries out, and not for the roots to be saturated the whole time. If you've used every bowl and bucket in your house, you can also use the kitchen sink as well. A few other great ways to keep your plants hydrated whilst traveling is to use self-watering spikes. Again, if you don't want to buy anything new, you can grab a wine bottle and shove that into your plant instead. Now for everyone worried about fungus gnats, I have a little DIY recipe that I like to use. Simply mix some dish soap and apple cider vinegar in a white bowl. This will attract your fungus gnats away from your plants and into the bowl. You can always use sticky traps as well. If you have outdoor plants that you're worried about drying out over this time, you can also use self-watering globes outside. Just make sure you opt for plastic ones instead of glass so you don't accidentally start a fire. For these to work properly, you need to shove them into your plant quite quickly. You need a little bit of soil to clog the opening of the globe so that the water doesn't come running out. The globe also needs to be straight in the plant, not at an angle. This should keep your plants happy and healthy if you're off for European summer.